Steve Scagebrook, and I don't know whether this will be a long sort of video, but we'll see how we go. And the subject is pencils. You'll have to forgive me because I've got a cough at the moment, so I may cough every now and again. But if I look at that, that is a pencil that my father gave me, and my dad was a draftsman, and he spent all his life drawing out steelwork. And these are one of the pencils he used, and he taught me the magic of pencils. And this is one of the few that I've still got that belong to him. And it's a Staedtler Mars Lumigraph 100, and it's a H pencil. And that's what I want to embark upon you. The differences between different pencils. Staedtler is probably one of the better names in the marketplace, as are this company, Faber-and-Castell. Now, if you give me a choice between the two, I would probably go to Faber-and-Castell for a proper pencil. Why? Because they are very old, they're German, and they do seriously nice pencils. And I bought this tin set some time back when I was lecturing just to show students, and I've kept it. I don't use it very much because I've got my own set of pencils that I quite like. But for general day-to-day drawing, this gives you a range of pencils from B all the way up to 5H or something like that, which is B is the softest. Then you come to the H range, and then each of those letters have got a series of numbers with it. The higher the number, the harder the pencil within that range. B is very soft. H is a reasonably hard pencil. So if you go to H7, then that's quite a hard pencil. H, which was my father's pencil, is a reasonably nice sort of pencil to draw with. You'll notice that I've not done anything with it. It's still the way that he left it. He didn't use a pencil sharpener, and you can see there that it's got all the little chisel marks, and he used one of these. Oops, let's put that down. It's basically a little Stanley knife. This is a cheap and nasty one. You buy them in packs of 3 or 4, and they're not expensive, but they do the job quite nicely. And pencils give a feeling, and that's something I want to touch on. But before we do that, there's the pencil thing that I use. As you can see, it's well worn and well used. It's full of pencil sharpenings at the moment, and I've got 2 there, one for very big pencils, 2 holes on the top, one for big pencils and one for little pencils. Makes sense. Now, what else have we got? A good rubber. You will make mistakes, and people who carve the paper will have a problem. If you're light-handed and just put down the pencil lightly onto the paper, then you will have no problems at all. This is another pencil that I've got. This is one of mine. This is a Staedtler as well, and it's one that I picked up from somewhere. If you draw a line and you put weight onto it and you really pull it down, then you will get a thick black line. But you try taking it off, it's almost impossible. It will always remain. Why? Because it's ingrained into the paper. Yet if I do a nice line like that, nice and thin, I can remove that pencil line quite easily. So the moral of the story is, hard, you'll never get it off. Soft, you will always get it off. And you get still a very good grain out of it if you're using a light touch. Now, what else have I got? Manufacturers will always be giving you pencils. This is a company I deal quite a lot with. They support CIAT, my professional association, a lot. And that's Extratherm, although they just changed their name to something else. They've gone back to their parent group in Europe, and they're using that name now. But most people will still use the name Extratherm. It must be on just about every specification you can possibly get for insulation. So Extratherm, and it comes, as you can see there, nice pencil, all blacked off, and it's no marking on it. And I've asked them time and time again, can you get them done? She said, we had so many made that we'll have to get rid of those first before we start putting it on. But I wanted to put them on so that it was extra, and it's 2 or 2B or whatever it is. Anyway, that's a free one that comes out, and I love them for that. This one is from Marley Eternit. Now, this one's a little different. Look at it. It's what's called a carpenter's pencil. And look at the thickness down that way, and then look at the thickness that way. The lead is actually rectangular, and it gives you the chance to get some serious different lines out of it. And if I put it down like that, I can get a thin, but I can get a thick line by using it at the top. I find with these pencils that you need to have a sanding block with it. Now, if you go into one of the artist shops, you'll buy these little long strips of thick card, and on the top of it, they got sandpaper on the top. And you get them 3 or 4 or 5 deep. And when the one's full, you just peel it off and the fresh one's underneath. But with that, you can then finally sand down the lead to the point you want, either a flat lead like this one, or you can get the ordinary pencil like this, and then just get your extra little bit of fine tuning to the lead on the end. For those of you who don't want to do that, this is a Staedtler, and this is a what they call a projecting pencil or a clutch pencil, and you can see there's the lead. You push the top down and there is the lead inside, and you can buy every single lead under the sun. That's the lead case that I bought, and these are 2H, which is probably the lead that I mostly prefer. And you can see at the top, if you've got several of these, they give you a little tiny red thing to put in the top. I don't like doing that because I only use 2Hs anyway. But in the top of that, you'll see there's a little hole, and that's actually a lead sharpener. So when you want to do something, you put your lead in there, twist it around a bit, and it just points up the end of the lead a little bit finer. But be careful. The lead stays in there and it'll go everywhere unless you empty it out. So these are the leads that I buy. Staedtler for my clutch pencil. If you go into an architect's office, that's what everybody uses. If you're still drawing, and I hope you are, that's the sort of lead thing that I use. It's a clutch pencil, and I have a number of leads if I need to go and do it. But 2H is my preferred. As always these days, I tend to be marking up rather than sketching or drawing. And so I've got these red ones, the famed red pencil from Skaze. So that's it really. I quite like the idea of using these people, Faber-Castell. They're very good. They are a little expensive, but the leads are seriously good, and they'll last a long time. And they do them in these beautiful tin little boxes to protect and make sure that everything is right. And of course, you get all the different bits of paper inside telling you about all the different leads they do. And there's Faber-Castell, which is an overview of the company and all the pencils that they do and everything else. But Faber-Castell, I don't get any royalties from it. I don't get anything from them. No freebies, no nothing. I just like to use them, and they are very good. If you happen to be passing one of the many cheaper outlets for books and artist materials, you may find one of these. Exactly the same. I don't think the pencils are anywhere near the same quality as the Faber-Castell, but hey ho, they are very good. And I was just looking then for the spare one that goes in there, and it's it's a HB. No wonder. Another favourite of mine. So nice little piece of a sponge over the top just to keep them all nice and flat. And when you press it down, you've got a nice tin. But even now, when you look at this and you look at the Faber-Castell and look at this one, the Faber-Castell tin is much better. So those are the things I do. I've shown you this. That's the little blade that I use. Packs of 4, dead cheap from any artist's office. Every now and again, I quite like to put a little colour into my sketching if I'm doing something. And this is my colour box. Cheap as anything, $150 I think, or something like that, for a nice little brush. and a colour palette up there which is good enough for me to use. Absolutely lovely. And I love using that every now and again. One of the things I did buy was this thing, and it's what's called a water brush. Well, I don't know what they call it, to be honest, but basically it's a brush down this end, but there's water behind it. So if you want to just keep on dipping it into something just to keep it wet, and then go and put it into one of those little these things, can't remember the name of them. You can just use it, and you can give it a bit of a squeeze, and then you've got water up there, and you can then put the colour on. I love using this. It's a great little piece of kit. Again, dead cheap. What else haven't I shown you? Oh yes. Now, pencil drawing. You'll suddenly find that one pencil is never going to be enough for you if you're getting seriously into art. And this is a pencil roll that I bought a long time when I take to university to teach with. And as you can see, there are loads of pencils in there. I use these every now and again. Often as not, these are marker boards. These are markers for permanent markers. I quite like using them. Every now and again, not very often, but these are the pencils I use if I'm doing sketching work in the office, then or in the university office, then this is the sort of thing that I use. These, you'll find a lot of these in architects' offices. They're very fine leads at the end, as you can see there, and when you pump it down, it pushes the lead further out, or if you push it down, you can push it back in again. I tend to break these too quickly, but they were very popular when I was on the board. But this, the clutch pencil, is the one that is most used by most architects and draftsmen around the world almost. You know, you can get these everywhere. I used to have 3 or 4, but they disappeared as I've lent them to people and not had them back, whoever they are. So that's it, really. All about pencils. I'll do another video, I think, to show the way that all the different leads offer different tones and character. But when you look at the pencils, you'll work it out. It's very easy. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been of interest to you. Long live the pencil. It is the one thing that will work on site. When students ask me, why do you keep on using the pencil? Why can't you use your iPad or your phone? And the simple answer is, you try using one of those in brilliant sunlight. It doesn't work that well. And I've worked all over the world. Literally, I've worked in most countries. And I've been into situations where I've been on site and I'm looking at a problem. I know how to fix the problem, but I don't speak the language of the person in front of me. And he doesn't speak English. But the moment this comes out and I start doing this, his eyes suddenly, or her eyes suddenly brighten up. All of a sudden, I'm drawing a detail and they understand it. All of a sudden, they understand that I'm drawing brick coursing, not very well in this particular case, but they understand the power of drawing is universal. And the moment you get something like this out, if they've been on site a long while, they'll recognize it. They know what your training is. And so pencils mean an awful lot. And to be honest, this is the preferred medium, because as soon as I've done it and I've finished the detail, they're all coming up with their phones and going click, 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 and thumbs up, because the universal thanks very much, absolutely understand, thumbs up is great. And pencils just work. There are few situations where I've not been able to use a pencil. Okay, so once in a while I've broken the lead, or I've gone through some heavy-handed passenger baggage people who've broken my leads, but I've still managed to work. It doesn't require electricity. All it needs is something sharp, a carpenter. Hey, can I borrow your chisel? Done. And I've got myself working again, and I'll keep on going. Will I ever sharpen that? Probably not. I'll keep it. And every now and again, I might just trim the end just a tad, just to keep the lead going. But I use these things an awful lot. It's easy way, and I put it in the back there. It looks good. It's always there for me. It's well protected, and that's it. I draw all that. What was I drawing over the weekend? Oh, that stuff. I'm rewriting Mitchell's at the moment, and I wanted to do some quick sketches to show how things were going to work. And then I was trying to teach a young student the other day about what they call screw piles. And these are piles that don't require to be hammered in. You put them in, you got a huge, great drill mounted onto a piece of kit, and then it just turns the screw into the ground. Absolutely lovely. So that's it. I hope things look really good for you. As you can see there, some ideas I was going through. More ideas. I can't think what else to show you. All the pencil stuff, all in pencil, of course. There it is about gravity, about the moon and the tides going around. That's another one that I do quite a lot of. So really, it's all about using pencils to draw it. And there you can see I've been using pencil, but I've just inked around some of the boxes just to show how the system will work. And again, all pencil. Please keep with it, stick with the faith, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers all. Bye.